everyone. Does anybody feel like sometimes their pain isn't taken seriously? Well, I think when I'm at a doctor's office and when I'm talking and telling them about my pain, sometimes I feel like it's not taken as seriously as maybe other people, because I tend to downplay a lot of my pain. And I think I've just learned this from a young age where, students or children should be seen, not heard. And I think coming from like an Asian background and just being a girl in general, sometimes you're not taken as seriously because we go through like a lot of emotional pain and sometimes when we're sensitive. But I honestly feel like we are often not taken seriously and validated when we have any type of pain. So a lot of the times you have like internal pain. So for me myself, I'm actually biologically female, and I think that when you have a uterus and you have period pain, a lot of people don't take it seriously. It's like a monthly thing. So people don't understand. Half the world, basically more than half, because not a lot of girls get periods pain. More than half of the population of the world does not understand period pain, and more than half of the generations, like most of the older generation, do not think of it as a serious medical concern. They just think of it as like, it's just like a normal part of life, just like suck it up, it's just like a womanly thing, let's not talk about it. I think it's really immature for some like people to not validate and acknowledge and want to even talk about period pain. I think it's like, why it's kind of like, oh, my knee is hurting, and people will talk about that. Sometimes they don't want to hear it, but they'll allow you to talk about it. But like, let's say you're having like period cramps. I understand that it's awkward to hear, but it is a big part of at least my life, right? So I totally think that more people should be open to talking about it, and we should be pushing people and like kind of guiding people toward saying like, okay, well, you should like support me. You should be able to like know what's happening and like be open to like listening to me. I'm gonna take my meds right now, my vitamins and medicines, while I'm talking to you guys, because this might be a long video and I feel like there's just a lot to talk about. I think, first of all, I do want to cover like what everyone can do when they're on their period, right? So I learned a lot of stuff. I've asked ChatGPT. I've researched a bunch of stuff on how to alleviate period pain. And I think one of the biggest things is taking medication. And I'm not talking like painkillers. I'm just talking like intense like prescription painkillers. I'm just like talking about like NSAID, like the Advil, ibuprofen, Tylenol, acetaminophen, Advil. Okay, so I'm not a medical doctor, but I really believe that women should not have to suffer through pain if they don't need to by taking medication. Like, I understand you guys want to be strong, but it just makes life so much easier. It's kind of like if you are having a cold and you need to go to work. You know, like, why wouldn't you take medication to like alleviate the symptoms? I mean, you could stick it through, but you're just like suffering unnecessarily. In the same way, if you're having period pain and you don't want to take medications, that's totally fine. It's totally up to you. But why is your reasoning like you should be stronger than that? Like, you are strong. You don't need to be any less strong. You aren't any less strong for taking medication. And I think I used to be like that, actually. I used to think, you know, I don't need the medicine. I don't need to take the medicine if I can withstand it. It's not that bad. It's, you know what, but it is bad. If you can help yourself, why not? And another reason people don't want to take it is because they'll develop a resistance to it. You have to be taking it pretty daily and pretty high amounts to develop a resistance to it. And I also think if you're taking it, recently I learned this. First of all, if it's really painful, you should be taking time off work or telling people, and like, people should be more understanding, but it's the world. What can you do? If you are in too much pain, just take the medicine. Talk to your doctor. I've actually realized that female doctors will prescribe you medicine more likely, but guy doctors are less likely to prescribe you medicine. I've heard various things about getting medicine for period pain. So one of my female doctors prescribed it for me, and she asked a really insightful question. She did not ask how painful are they, what are your symptoms, how does it feel like. She asked me, would you call out of work from your period pain? So it's not a matter of how painful it is. It's a matter of how much you can tolerate it, and if you are willing, if you could think, and like, if you can't function in life, I think that's when it becomes bad. Anyways, I'm very passionate about this process because about this topic because I've had a lot of period pain in my life. Like, one time, like, a lot of my friends are like really nice, but I think a lot of the guy friends just like don't understand, and like, that's understandable, but just try to be a little bit more supportive, empathetic. Like, not all girls go through it, and I think girls are just like more understanding because like they've heard it more often, and like, you know, there are just some internal things. Like, when someone says like, I have a headache, you know, you instantly feel empathy, or most of you guys would feel empathy, and most of you guys would want to, you know, like, understand, like, okay, you can't think that well, like, you can't process as well, like, I understand. But when some girl says like, period pain, like, I'm just like having cramps, I think a lot of the general consensus is like, you're talking about it again, like, dude, it's not that bad, like, is it really that bad, like, I don't really care, like, why are you talking about it? It's like so weird, you're a girl, like, keep it to yourself. Anyways, I probably should calm down, but I get really sensitive about this. I've definitely called out of work. I've dry heaved from it. I've almost fainted from it. I've pretty much been like in bed from it. I have sprained my ankle before, and I've you know, had like really bad diarrhea, and those do not compare to period pain. I'm trying to think of like other things that I can compare to period pain, but honestly, like, I've been punched before, and if I was punched in the stomach while I was on my period, it would actually be a welcome distraction. Like, I would actually be like, oh, now I feel my pain less, I feel something else. It would suck, but I strongly believe that being punched in the stomach is not as painful as some of my period cramps. And also it's like, it's not just my stomach, right? It's like my lower back, my thighs, my like arms are weak. I'm like dehydrated. I'm like uncomfortable. Like you basically have to wear like a freaking diaper if you're like bleeding a lot. Also, if you are bleeding like a lot, like don't worry, there's chunks. And sometimes there's chunks, but if you're bleeding a lot, you should be probably taking yeah. But one thing that will help is so I've seen, this is what helps me. Taking meds is like the main thing. Heat pads help. I don't like drinking like cold stuff or ice cream. It's like this Chinese thing or like this Asian tradition, I think it's Chinese, where if you eat like something cold, it like freezes it and it's like unlikely to like get out. My roommate used to make me red bean soup, so that was really nice of her. I really miss it. But that I think helped. Sesame, like hot teas like chamomile really help. Resting, and I know this is maybe controversial. I'm not a doctor, so don't take my advice on this very seriously. Just consult a doctor. Birth control I think really helped me. I think acne, it helped with my acne, it helped with my moods, helped with my like weight, kind of, depending. But it really helped with period cramps. I will warn you though, some of them make you suicidal and may have like really bad things. But I'm not sponsored, but I've been using Nurx. I saw a lot of ads for it, so I use it. Basically you pay $30 to get it shipped, and for like 24/7 healthcare. Like you can send like a bunch of messages and like talk to them about your concerns and stuff. And they can send you like several types. Like it's just like a hit or miss. What else? Oh, also, I don't know if anybody knows this, gynecologically speaking, but when you're doing a pap smear, you're not supposed to have sex 3 days before. I did not know that. I know a lot of people don't know that. Also, it's not supposed to hurt that much. It's just supposed to be a pinch, so if it hurts, they're doing it wrong. Also, they should probably not put like a huge thing in it, yours. If you're not having sex, you don't need a pap smear. What else? IUDs can help. IUDs, there's a lot. I'm not a medical professional, this is what I just know. I don't know if this is interesting for you guys, but I do want to share what I can about my own experiences and my frustrations with the process, and just seeing if anybody connects, because it's been a long run. I'm like old now. I'm like in my late 20s, and I've had period pain since I was like in my teens, and I think there's a lot of valuable things that people can learn, and I don't want you guys to have to go through the experiences when I could just tell you. I mean, it might help, but I'd rather you guys learn from someone, even if it's not me. Yeah, I think it's just, we need to advocate for ourselves. We need to advocate and stand up for when it's too much. And I just want to wrap it up with an example of, let me think of an example of when, so I think a lot of the older generation does not take it seriously, and my mom was one of them. So I do want to wrap it up with the story. It's kind of depressing, but there is a hopeful side of this. And I think there's just a lot of misinformation with birth control and period pain and period cramps and all of that kind of stuff, like women's health. I have been experiencing period pain throughout my life. And when I was little, I would have it so bad that, you know, like I couldn't move. I would like feel dizzy, lightheaded. It was like in high school, and I just felt so unwell. Like you can feel it like on your thighs, your lower back. There's like cramping, there's like so much blood. It's gross. I remember coming back home and just wanting to rest and lay down. I couldn't even make it to my bed. That was the time I didn't think that I would need medicine, so I wanted to be strong. I wanted to show people that I could withstand it, and my mom didn't really take it seriously. I think her parent never took it seriously, and just pain was never, yeah, my grandma never took people's pain seriously. It's another story, but she didn't take my pain seriously. She thought I was faking it. She's like, like, don't exaggerate, like it's not that bad. I didn't make it to the bed. I was on the floor, cramping up. I had a carpet floor, so it wasn't that bad. And then I like dry heaved a bunch, and that was when I decided, you know what, if I have to suffer through all this and like a little pill will just help me and it's not gonna hurt me, why should I suffer through all this? Yeah, so I really recommend it doesn't get that bad. I know a lot of you guys don't have it that bad, and I'm really glad for you guys. I'm a little jealous, but I'm really glad that it's not that bad. But I really don't think you guys should suffer more than you have to. If you can make your life easier, I really think you should. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of long and I'm kind of ranting a lot, and I do not have makeup on, and I just took a shower, so at least I'm like clean. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm definitely gonna be posting more. I'm not sure about what, but this is my first video, so